What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. The NPDs for November got released, and we're going to go over that because it's a bit complicated where all the systems placed, but something pretty serious happened with all the systems in November. Something that hasn't happened in a long time, if you technically count home consoles. So we'll go over that and then where all the different games placed and everything. But everyone did well. Nintendo did well. Sony and even Microsoft pushing quite a few Xbox Ones, actually. We're going to go over that. And then we also have to talk about Halo Infinite again, as more and more information keeps coming out about this, and it's something that appears new for the Halo franchise. It could possibly be some RPG elements in there. We're going to talk about that as well. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, do hit the like button. It does help out. We're going to start with Ys 9 because, well, Ys 8 was pretty good. I actually liked Ys 8 a lot. I played it on the Switch, and then I also played it on Windows when it came out. Remember we did a review on both versions to check it out. Ys 9 is actually announced as coming next year. Falcom announced this. Gamatsu had the story on it. And it looks like it is going to be, I guess, just the next one in the series. People were hoping for maybe a remake of an older Ys game. They were a little surprised, from what I can see around the internet, that we're going right to Ys 9. But hey, if you're a fan of the Ys series, you're probably excited to hear about this now. We know it's coming to Japan first, and then we'll, I guess, see it localized down the road to other parts of the world, including the US. And at this time, it's coming to the PlayStation 4 only, at least at this time. Nothing about Windows or a Switch release or a Vita release, although Falcom's been weird about the whole Switch thing, as it seemed like they had to kind of beat over the head a bit to put it on the Switch. But we'll see if NIS does anything with that. I feel like the Switch's presence in Japan and the US and other parts of the world seems like they also want it on something that's a little more like a portable system and less just like the PS4, because of course they put it on the Vita all the time, so I feel like they kind of have to put it on something like the Switch just to have that portable market as well, and we'll see. Just for now, we know it's coming to the PlayStation 4, and we know it's coming next year. Next up, let's talk about a Kickstarter that's being made by an esports team, Panda Global, specifically for the Switch and Smash Bros. See, of course, you can use the adapter for the GameCube controllers. The Nintendo branded adapter lets you plug in 4 of them. And to do it in portable mode, you need a whole bunch of wires to kind of make it work right. You need, of course, a way to plug in 2 USB ports to the bottom, which usually results in a port and everything. And then, of course, if you also want to charge, you need another cable, and you got to make that work. It's usually a whole thing to do that. What they're trying to do is actually build a stand that will incorporate all of that in like an enclosed package. They want to sell it for $45, and they're looking to have the Kickstarter go live next month in January, and it looks kind of cool, actually. They, of course, say it won't brick your system because we're not looking to pull any kind of video through here. It's just going to be basically all those components that you would use in that spider web of cables, and just put it in a little box that you put your Switch on top of, and then you can plug your controllers into the front, and then maybe a charge cable, I guess they said, in the back for pass-through charging. There are also questions about things like an Ethernet port, because, of course, what we know in esports, they're using LAN cables for everything, and they're looking into that. That'd be cool if they could kind of work in a network adapter as well, just for that reliable connection. I know there's a Wi-Fi LAN debate, but it's more reliable, of course, to have a LAN connection as opposed to having interference around you, especially in a large, conference hall or whatnot if you're holding an esports competition like that. So we'll just be on the lookout for that and see how that all comes together. But January is what they're shooting for. And Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is coming out next month. And there is a collector's edition. It just seems to be very, very limited, as when I found it, it's already sold out. It looks to be about $80 USD after converting it, but it's not around anymore. It's already sold out. So I've bookmarked it, and, I'll just keep an eye on it occasionally to see if anyone on Twitter says that it's back in stock, and I'll check it out because the collector's edition actually looks pretty cool. No statue or anything as you're seeing it here, but it's being done by Pix and Love Publishing, and you can see just a pretty cool looking package there. It's $80, so it is a good bit more expensive than what it is normally, but it does have the really cool art book and kind of the history of No More Heroes. I also like the packaging, kind of the purplish package and everything, and then it also comes with a bunch of lithographs there, 4 of them, so I like the look of it. I did want a collector's edition that's maybe more available to me in the US, but I mean, if this is all they're going to have done by this publishing company, I guess that's the way it is. Have to keep an eye on it to see if it comes back in stock hopefully before release. All right, guys, some of the quick news out of the way. Let's get into the bigger stuff. Starting right away with the NPD. These, of course, track sales in the US for all the big console manufacturers and publishers and developers who put games out. And it looks like it was a pretty good month, although it was flat from last year's November to this November. But you're going to see the top 10 here for the games. And you'll see, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2 at the top. Makes sense. It's a big game. And of course, Call of Duty kind of ran its course in October. It was still very popular in November as it's number 2. This, I do want to say before we continue to go down here, tracks sales. So this is for like dollar amounts. So Red Dead Redemption 2 at the top. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, those asterisks are because they don't track the Battle.net sales. Battlefield 5 below that, I believe they don't track the Origin sales. I believe that's why that's kind of 2 stars there. Fallout 76 at 4. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and then Eevee below them at 5 and 6. NBA 2K19 at 7. Madden NFL 19 at 8. Spyro Reignited Trilogy was actually a bit lower, but we'll talk about why that is at number 9. And then FIFA 19 at 10. The total spend for the month of November was $2.693 billion. That is slightly down within margin of error, apparently flat from $2.7 billion last year's November. Hardware was up 3% to $1.182 billion. And overall, it was a pretty solid month. The order went PlayStation 4, Switch, and then Xbox One. However, that's for total units sold. If you go by dollar amounts or revenue pulled in, it actually went Switch, PlayStation 4, and then Xbox. That's how close, within like 10%, that's how close it was between these systems. It really is amazing to see this, and despite analysts on Wall Street and other places saying, oh, cell phones are going to take over gaming, well, I don't know, because that was a lot of systems to sell there, over 1.3 million for each one. And the revenue obviously coming in is pretty large. Now, when we looked at the chart, we saw Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy, very low at number 9. And that makes sense because it was a $40 game. It's not a $60 game like the others. And then, of course, Pokemon was pretty strong there right in the middle of the charts at $60 a piece. And, of course, it's split between 2 different copies, 2 different versions of essentially the same game. I would have been curious where it would have been if they were smashed together and somewhere on the charts. But either way, Pokemon and the Switch did well. PlayStation 4 did well, and then, of course, the Xbox. Now, it makes sense for the PlayStation to be up there in terms of units because, of course, it was on sale for $200 with Spider-Man, which is one of the best deals I've ever seen on Black Friday for a console. That is absolutely amazing, and if you got that, that's awesome because that is a great bundle to get, whether it's for Christmas or you just wanted to buy it and play it. Spider-Man's a good game, and for $200 for the PS4 and that library, that was a good get. As for the big things that all the systems did that's very rare, is that all 3 of them did sell over 1.3 million units, which is not normal. In fact, the last time this happened, you had to go back to 2010, and that still included a handheld system. That included the DS, the Wii, and the Xbox 360. So, yeah, this is probably the first time I guess that was all home consoles, but it's still really impressive to see how strong it is, despite, you would say, the PS4 and even the Xbox One being in like the later, like the back end of their lifespan. They're still selling pretty well. It does look like, though, that Battlefield 5, Fallout 76 struggled heavily. We saw them get price cuts. You're selling at that price, sometimes $30 to $40. Yeah, you're going to fall down the charts, and it makes me wonder if they're going to continue tumbling down the charts going into December, and then January they might be non-existent, to be honest. It's going to be ugly for Battlefield 5, and I feel like Anthem has just more pressure on it because of Battlefield 5's poor performance, but well, we'll see. I really do hope EA is not seeing BioWare as this is it. Anthem has to do well, or we're going to have to reevaluate all of BioWare. I hope that's not the case. I don't think it is because Dragon Age is at least in the works. And then I don't even have to tell you about Fallout 76. That's just... All right, yeah, it's Fallout 76. Next up, let's talk about the next Halo Infinite, and the possibility of a job listing pointing to RPG elements being added in. We already talked about how it seems like there could be an evolving, changing open world. We talked about that yesterday. But let's take a look at this job listing here, and you do see that part of the requirements for it is being familiar with RPG and shooter game mechanics, and this is a senior system designer specifically for 343 and the next Halo. They completely point that one out, and Halo would be an interesting one to add RPG elements to, although I do know some people might be a little hesitant on that unless it's just for the campaign, because we could be... Are we talking about Halo turning into like Destiny. We're talking about like an open world with changing seasons and quests and missions with people who jump in and out of your world. And now we're talking about RPG elements. Are we talking about like weapons that have rarities to them? Because I feel like right now I'm describing Destiny. And Destiny, of course, being done by Bungie, already feels like Halo when it comes to the shooting. Like if you play Destiny, especially the first one that came out, I said, wow, this is Halo, basically. The shooting is very similar. So let's say the next Halo does come out. It has a lot of those elements. Is there really that much of a difference between them? And our last bit of news, let's talk about some rejected Pokemon ideas, or at least ideas that they had ahead of when, I guess, everything happened with the big Pokemon craze way back in the day in the early 90s even. And this is actually shown on a broadcast with NHK, and you're going to see some of the drawings here, actually sketches that they had throughout the broadcast, and some of them are pretty interesting. There's capsule monsters, and you kind of see, I guess, what's supposed to be similar to like the opening to one of the games. Remember in the beginning, you either have like Gengar and Jigglypuff or Nidorino, and then you also have several drawings of different Pokemon. The weird one that everyone's pointing out is next to Pinsir. That's apparently a Scyther that obviously underwent a ton of different changes. I assume that's Arcanine below them, and then you see Blastoise down there. You see this weird looking like worm with teeth. People are saying that apparently was Gyarados before they changed Gyarados up. It's very interesting to see these different designs and what changed and what evolved and even what didn't. I mean, Ghastly looks exactly the same, right? Even Pinsir looks pretty much the same. Staryu, sure, Cloyster. But you kind of look at like ones like that Gyarados. Even Lapras changed a little bit. But like Scyther and Gyarados, you look at those and you go, wow, that's well, first, that's terrifying, obviously, but big changes there. It's always interesting to look back on these big success stories of something like Pokemon and see what it could have been. Capsule monsters with a terrifying looking worm with a bunch of teeth, and then you see what Gyarados looks like now, and then you, of course, see what's happened to Scyther, and who knows what other drawings there are or what ideas they had. We even talked about that Pokemon Gold beta from way back in the day that had a ton of things that we never even saw happen, sprites and other Pokemon that were kind of left behind. So the thing is, I look at Pokemon now and you wonder if they're running out of ideas. No, they probably have a ton of ideas, and they probably have a ton of different drawings, sprites, and other Pokemon ideas just laying on the scrap room floor. And if we're looking at some of these ideas now, which some of them are like based on furniture, it makes you wonder what was left behind. Well, we see some of it here, and some of it's kind of nightmare-inducing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. It does help out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's the failed Pokemon designs, were you surprised to see some of them, or would you like to see more of them, actually? If you go back and watch the Pokemon Gold beta video that I did, you'll see some others that were kind of left behind. And then what about the NPD results? Let me know about that. Or even Halo having RPG elements. Do you want Halo to kind of stay the same and just keep rolling along? Or would you like to see it become more like Destiny? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.